Recently, there has been a sighting of undisputed action and activity in the boxing world. But an unexpected face has risen on the scene to talk that talk about facing off against Undisputed. Now, who might that be other than Mell Charlo, Undisputed super welterweight champion of the world, with an eye toward facing another undisputed champion. And as he has stepped forward recently to speak about what he wants to do, it's raised some eyebrows, and I have to say mine has raised as well, because Charlo is the type of fighter who will accept challenges, and the challenge that he's proposing is one that I think all of us would love to see and enjoy viewing. Let's talk about it a little further. Undisputed. That's what we're talking about here. Undisputed boxing. And an undisputed champion seeking more challenges. That would be Mell Charlo. Yeah, he's been off the scene for a little bit. He's got a bit of an injury that he's recovering from, a broken hand, but he's got his eyes toward challenges in boxing, and you have to like it. In fact, you have to love it, because since he stopped Brian Castano in the 10th round of their May 22nd unification bout for Undisputed, a rematch that saw them have a split decision draw the first go round in July of 2021. The 32-year-old Charlo is suggesting that he get in there and make a fight of it against another undisputed champion, one whose name is very familiar around the ranks, and that would be Saul Canelo Alvarez. He who managed to campaign at 155 pounds, just over the division where Mell currently reigns supreme. But Mell is like, hey, Canelo, let's get it on. I like that idea. It really means that Mell would have to meet somewhere in between middleweight and super middleweight to face off against Canelo, who has been hop, skipping, and jumping around divisions for a while now and avoiding the most quality of opposition at the same time. But this is what I have to also say about that. If Mell is thinking about facing Canelo, it's a great challenge for him. And it can provide him with an opportunity to write legendary status near his own name. His current record is 35-1, with that one draw against Castano with 19 KOs. Now, what I have noticed is, and I've spoken about, is that Mell Charlo has won fights almost every way that you can win them. Jabs, right hands, left hooks, uppercuts. He's stopped opponents in every kind of way. He's won fights early. He's won fights late. He's won fights in the middle rounds. He's had a bad decision, and he's overcome draws. The two blemishes on his record, he avenged both by KO. This is a fighter, the Iron Man, who wants to get in there and accept and meet challenges as best as he can. And that should not be denied of a fighter with that type of temperament. Now, what about Canelo? Again, Canelo is a fighter who the PTB likes to refer to as the face of boxing. And with his record of 59-2, with 2 draws and 39 KOs, as he begins to enter the twilight of his career, he may need that mega bout. And this is the type of fight that you have to really consider that both men are 32 years of age. Canelo is 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach. Mell is 6'0" with a 73-inch reach. And the two of them are looking for real challenges. What else could you ask of two men who are champions such as these two? Now, with Mell talking about going up to fight Canelo, it's a fight that could have taken place years ago. And Canelo had no interest in either Mell or his brother, Mell. But you still have to look at their contemporaries and same age. Mell isn't as active as he has been. 2 fights over the past 2 years, 3 years actually, and this hand injury, which has kept him out most recently. But he wants to dare to be great. Isn't that what they like to pass around in boxing today? To dare to be great. And if you're an undisputed fighter, that's what it's all about, right? Making the right choices for your legacy. I believe the two of these men can do exactly that. Stand in there and make legacy for one another. It would be very interesting to see the two of them come together under these circumstances. Now, he said that he feels like if Hearn can set it up, he'll fight Canelo. All he wants to do is dare to be great. He says, why don't they make Canelo undisputed? That could be a big thing in boxing. Tag Eddie Hearn, undisputed versus undisputed, said Mell Charlo on social media about wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez. He says, I'll gain a little weight. Let me show you what it is. Why don't you make Canelo versus Charlo? Somebody put that together. Little Charlo will fight anybody. I ain't never ducked no smoke. And he goes on to say that B can't beat me off his last performance, referring to Canelo's lackluster win over John Ryder last weekend. I wanted to show you all that I still exist. Eddie Hearn, come put that together. See, Charlo speaks with confidence and bravado because he's an accomplished fighter. And as he went on to say, I already accomplished everything. When the left hand gets right, I'll go knock him out and then knock the other one out, said Charlo. Now, what I like about this is he's simply flexing because he can. And he's a fighter of accomplishment, as I said. This is not something that is far-fetched. He's 32 years old, and he still fights at junior middleweight. But I could see him putting on that extra weight just like Canelo did when he went from 160 all the way up to 175 to face Sergey Kovalev. They called him great for that, right? They said Canelo was daring to be great. Well, isn't Charlo daring to be great? Give him that type of credit. Now, this has nothing to do with his outside of the ring antics or even the conversation about his personality. But we're talking about what he does in the ring, just like we're talking about what Canelo does or doesn't do in the ring. And that is facing off the stiffest of opposition. Name notoriety is there, and also the funds would be there. Two undisputed, matching against one another for all the glory, for their legacies of their generation. How about it? Let's have at it. Personally, I think this is a very good fight to make. Yeah, some people may not see it, but it's something that can bring vindication for both fighters. For Mell, the vindication of finally stepping up against a challenge of a bigger man, really, because Canelo has weighed more for considerably longer. But for Canelo to finally get in there against one of his contemporaries that people have said he ducked and dodged, why not make it happen? It's what's good for boxing. It's what's good for both of their legacies. And it's the type of fight that fight fans would not mind seeing. I believe that these two can really do a big pay-per-view buy. But who am I? What do you think? Would you like to see Undisputed versus Undisputed? Mell Charlo against Canelo Alvarez. Undisputed junior middleweight champion against undisputed super middleweight champion. What a matchup. What do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about a possible matchup between these two undisputed champions. Do you think Charlo can add Canelo's trinkets to his trophy cabinet? Or do you feel like Canelo can vindicate after all these years of not facing a Charlo brother? Let's talk about it further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone, please remain safe.